Wataru Endo of Stuttgart could be the latest player to move to Liverpool. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yes, the big breaking news last night from the likes of James Pearce, David Ornstein, The Athletic and Fabrizio Romano all pointed to the fact that Liverpool may have finally found a new midfield acquisition in Japanese international Wataru Endo of Stuttgart. This seems to have moved extremely quickly on this position, and it does seem that Endo is going to be a new Liverpool player, pending a medical and tying up all the loose ends, of course. We're going to be talking all about this big breaking news story that very quickly developed last night. We're going to be talking all about Endo, Liverpool, and everything else in between. And I do warn you now, it's not entirely positive on this story from my point of view, but I am going to be open and I'm going to be honest and truthful in my opinions and everything else that goes along with that. But before we get into all of that, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And of course, I want you guys to get involved in the comment section as well. Do get involved. Do tell me what you think about this transfer story, about Endo, about Liverpool, and everything else in between. I'm sure your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, will make for great and interesting reading down below in that comment section. So do get involved down there. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Yes, last night the news broke from the likes of James Pearce, David Ornstein, Fabrizio Romano and The Athletic, who claimed that that talks and everything were in advanced stages for Wataru Endo. James Pearce initially ran with that kind of tweet on Twitter. David Ornstein followed it up with Liverpool closing in on signing Stuttgart defensive midfielder Wataru Endo. Stuttgart wanted to renew contract, but Liverpool, in advanced talks, the 30-year-old granted permission to travel to Merseyside to complete move via The Athletic and after Fabrizio Romano. Ornstein then followed it up with Stuttgart expected to receive fee in the region of €90 million from Liverpool for Wataru Endo, according to reports in Germany. Shock deal for highly regarded Japanese international bolsters Liverpool's midfield following recent departures. And then Romano followed it all up with Wataru Endo to Liverpool. Here we go. He's here we goed it. Medical test booked on Thursday for Japanese midfielder who's joining from Stuttgart for €18 million fee. Personal terms agreed in few hours as Endo asked as Stuttgart captain to leave and follow his dream. So it does seem that Wataru Endo is imminently going to become a Liverpool player as quickly as either today or tomorrow, pending a medical and pending tying up all the loose ends, of course, of a deal. My first thought on this was basically Jurgen Klopp misses saying Hendo a lot. He misses Jordan Henderson. He misses saying his nickname of Hendo a lot, and that's why he's brought in Endo. I'm sure everyone's made that joke by now, but there we go. I had to say it. Look, what does he bring to the squad? Well, he's a 30-year-old experienced Japanese international, a leader from obviously being Stuttgart captain, experience, like I say, being 30 years of age. So it does mark a bit of a change in Liverpool's transfer policy, and obviously a bit of a change in terms of the usual sort of age bracket that Liverpool go for, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because I have been screaming out that Liverpool may be needing to bring in a bit of experience in that midfield and a bit of leadership in that midfield, and obviously Endo ticks both of those boxes. Like I say, experienced, a leader. He's a defensive midfielder as well, so obviously that ticks another box, and of course he's a little bit versatile. There's been proof that he can drop in as a centre-back. He can drop in further forward as a bit more of a number 8 as well. So, but defensive midfield is more where his natural position lies. So there's a bit of versatility to his game, which could spell there's a bit of flexibility now to Klopp's midfield. And maybe, of course, that could prove to be a change of tactic or something further along the way, depending on how he decides to deploy not just him, but of course the players around him. Could he enhance the more attacking players around him, the likes of maybe Trent, maybe? Could he maybe be more inverted, and maybe he could be the one to kind of cover Trent when needs be? Maybe that is going to be the case going forward, something along those lines. It could work out in that sense. Now for the negatives. Because, you know, as much as I want to be positive, as much as I want to be understanding of this, and as much as I want to give him a chance, and believe me, this is not on him. This is in no way, shape or form on him. If a player like him in his position was given the chance to join a bigger club, with all due respect to Stuttgart, of course, you jump at the opportunity. And this is on no way him. This is just going to be him in a bad situation when he does arrive at Liverpool and is unveiled as a Liverpool player, because he has to hit the ground running. Simple as that. He has to hit the ground running, because the amount of players we've missed out on these past couple of years because of a bad transfer strategy and the way that we've gone about our transfer business being extremely poor, he has to hit the ground running. No doubt in my mind. This can't also be the be-all and end-all of the remainder of the transfer window either. There needs to be more. We need to at least bring in one more midfielder. We need to then definitely look at our defence. This can't be the be-all and end-all, but at the same time, this has to hit the ground running. Because, to me, I'm underwhelmed by this. Now, I'm going to sound like a bit of a hypocrite from previous videos, because I've constantly said time and time again, you don't have to spend huge amounts of money to get gems of players, to get absolute diamonds of players. You don't need to. You just have to have a good scouting network. That's why Brighton do it constantly, year in, year out. They constantly find these gems of players for literally peanuts and go on to make them into better players that they can sell for millions upon millions upon millions. We just need a better scouting system. Now, I'm not saying this won't work out. I'm not saying this is on him at all, but I am underwhelmed by this signing. And the reason is because of the likes and types of midfielders that we've been linked with in the past couple of years has led us to Endo. Last year we were after Tchouaméni. When that fell through, we were after Bellingham. We were after Bellingham for a couple of years now. We were waiting. We were waiting. And then when the moment finally came, for us to act like a big club, we caved in, we collapsed, and we lost out again. Then we turned our attention to the likes of Romeo Lavia and Moises Caicedo. And of course, as we know, within the past week and what has been a very bad, embarrassing week for Liverpool Football Club, we missed out on them as well, to the same club of Chelsea, after both of them rejected us in favour of joining the Blues. And that's not to mention all the other names that we missed out on as well in between those names. The likes of Sofian Amrabat, even Mason Mount to an extent. Those types of players we missed out on. Pretty poor from a club that was once seen as one of the best run clubs a few years ago. Pretty poor from a club that was challenging for major trophies a couple of years ago. It's embarrassing the way that we've fallen these past couple of years. It's embarrassing the way that we've gone from being a seemingly well-run and legitimate top club in Europe to now being a bit of a laughingstock and an absolute shambles from the outside looking in, because of the way that we've conducted our transfer business, particularly this summer. This deal actually represents how we used to do things at Liverpool. Get the deal done very quickly behind closed doors. Don't release anything. Keep our cards close to our chest. Get the deal just done and dusted, and only put something out there when there's actually worthy news to put out there. This represented that. But the reason this represented that is because this deal was so easy to get done. It's Stuttgart. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not about this life of judging a player by where they come from, of course. We got Andy Robertson for 8 to 10 million, or one Kevin Stewart, somewhere in that region. From a Hull side who had just been relegated down from the Premier League down to the Championship at that time. So I'm not all about judging a player where they come from or what team or what team they were previously at. I'm just underwhelmed by the kind of process we've had to get to this point where we're signing Endo. Now, don't get me wrong, I want to be positive. I want to be happy about this. I want to give him all the luck in the world, and I do to an extent. I give him all the luck and best wishes in the world to obviously hit the ground running and be a diamond for Liverpool. An absolute diamond in that midfield. I want to give him a chance. Of course I do. But that doesn't stop me from being underwhelmed by this. This doesn't stop me from questioning the club completely on this transfer. Because my questions to the club are, why did this deal take so long? In terms of, why did we not get all our business done before the start of the transfer window? I hate when teams don't get their business done at the start of the transfer window. And the only exceptions to that are you pick up a big injury during the early games of the season between, obviously, the season starting and the end of the transfer window. You pick up a big injury that you need to find a replacement for. That I can understand. I can also understand if a big enough player that's already well established comes in and goes, he wants to leave his current club, and you feel like it could enhance and evolve your current starting 11 or your current squad to that point. I can understand that. But I can't understand it when it's a panic buy, and this reeks to me of a bit of a panic buy. This reeks to me of, we've missed out on so many players, we need to bring in a player just to cover that role. People are saying stopgap, people are saying that kind of thing. It's not a stopgap. This guy's 30 years of age. With the way that Liverpool run their business and trying to obviously buy cheap and sell on high once we've got a few years out of him, this guy is not going to be that guy, because this guy is going to be a few years down the line into his early 30s, and the price will not be as high as what we're expecting it to be. This cannot be a stopgap signing. This is a panic signing, in my opinion. This is a signing that we see as an easy signing because no one else seems to want him, or no one else that is worthy of challenging Liverpool seems to want him. No Chelsea's coming in for this one. No other big club from around Europe is coming in for this one. So it does seem like it's going to be an easy signing for Liverpool to get done. It's the perfect FSG signing in terms of, obviously, money-wise, money situation. But I have to question it. Why wasn't this guy signed before the transfer window? It's not like it's a big enough signing. Like I say, if it's not a big enough signing and not a massive money signing, why wasn't this done earlier? Because let's face it, 18 to 19 million euros works out at roughly 12 to 13 million pounds, give or take. Why wasn't this signing done earlier? Why wasn't this guy brought in for pre-season? Why wasn't this guy brought in before the beginning of the start of the season? I have to question that for all of those reasons that I discussed before, in terms of this being the perfect FSG signing and all of that stuff. And finally, if this is a very good and perfect signing, which, you know, again, fingers crossed it is, but I have to question this. If this is a perfect signing, if this is a great signing, why wasn't this discussed heavily before? Why was no top-tier journalist talking about Endo? Why was no fan, or maybe even no large number of fans talking about this guy? You can't tell me it was overshadowed by the likes of Lavia and Caicedo, because if this guy's that good, why weren't we going after him instead? What was this guy, like our 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th choice of a player? Or was that the case there? Was this guy like our 10th choice of a midfielder that was going to be an easy signing? And no one was talking about this guy, really? And it was all done very quickly behind the scenes and everything. Look, I don't want to be this negative. I want to be positive about it. I want to be positive about the club. I want to be positive about this player. And like I say, this has nothing to do with the player. This is nothing on the player. I wish him all the luck in the world to settle in and to hit the ground running at Liverpool, because God knows that we need it. But this can't be the be-all and end-all. And like I say, this club needs to sort itself out, because this has been an absolute shambles of a transfer window. And to me, if you actually read in behind it, all the words and everything, if you read behind all the words, if you read behind if you read between the lines of the story and everything, it goes on to represent how big of a shambles and how big of a chaotic mess this transfer window has been for the Reds. Simple as that. Even David Ornstein put that this move was a shock, seen as a shock move. Why was it seen as a shock move? Because no one was expecting it. Not even Liverpool was seemingly probably expecting it. But there they are, turning their attention to this guy. I want to be positive. I want him to prove me wrong. I want to look back on this video in a few months' time and say, you know what? I was wrong. This guy bringing in was a stroke of genius by the club, by Jurgen Klopp, by whoever else was in charge. I keep forgetting his name. George Schmacker. I can't pronounce his name. I'm really stupid. But I want to be proven wrong. And I don't think I necessarily will be on this. But I wait to be proven wrong. I hope to be proven wrong. And I hope that this is actually a worthy signing. But this can't be the be-all and end-all. We saw yesterday Liverpool may be going in for a last-ditch attempt for Sofian Amrabat. Doubt that will happen. I doubt he'll have his head turned. He will seemingly want Manchester United. He's probably going to go to Manchester United. I also see yesterday we may be reopening our interest in Ryan Gravenberch. We've gone all the way around to get back to where we were at the beginning of the transfer window, it seems. Don't tell me our window has been a complete shambles and a complete mess. This is just the way that it seemingly is now. But, like I say, I'm trying to be positive. I wish him all the luck in the world, but at the same time, I just see the flaws in this club and the way that we've done our transfer business over the past couple of years. But that's just me. These are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of the news of Endo maybe coming to Liverpool, seemingly an imminent transfer pending a medical and all the tying up of the loose ends of obviously finalising a deal? What are your own thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it on this big transfer story? Leave them down below in the comment section. I'm sure they'll all make for interesting and great reading. Otherwise, hit that like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things always and forever greatly appreciated. And of course, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. We'll go again. I'll see you and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Have a good day.